Hello and welcome to the 5 Minute Film Club, and also to my weekend of fantasy films, hoping to provide you with a bit of escapism. Wizard of Oz is an eternal classic and has been wowing audiences since its first release 81 years ago. So that begs the question, what can I say about it that hasn't been said before? Probably nothing, but here we go anyway. Young Dorothy Gale, played by Judy Garland, gets whisked away to the land of Oz when a tornado hits the Kansas farm she lives on with her aunt and uncle. Upon arrival, she is praised as a hero for accidentally killing the Wicked Witch of the East when her house landed on top of her. The Good Witch of the North gifts Dorothy the Wicked Witch's ruby slippers, which enrages the sister of the said dead witch, the Wicked Witch of the West, who swears revenge on Dorothy. Whew, all of that sounds a bit EastEnders, doesn't it? Anyway, Dorothy is desperate to get home, and the only way she can is to visit the Wizard of Oz and ask him for help. So off she goes, meeting along the way a scarecrow who wants the wizard to give him a brain, a tin woodman who needs a heart, and a cowardly lion who wants some courage. In between singing and dancing, the group have to try and battle off attempts by the Wicked Witch to ruin their plans. The Wizard of Oz is based on a series of books by Frank L. Baum that was released in the early 1900s. And actually, many film adaptations happened before this famous 1939 musical version. This film version has its origins in the success of Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which was released in 1937. That gave MGM the confidence to actually think that maybe audiences would like to see children's fairy tales, no matter what their age. The production of the film wasn't exactly plain sailing, as they struggled at every single process. The script went through various rewrites that continued through the filming, and the film also went through several directors. Richard Thorpe was the first, who did some early Technicolor tests, and about 9 days of shooting before George Cukor took over, very briefly before Victor Fleming came on board and did the majority of the filming. He then had to run off and save another classic from 1939, Gone with the Wind. King Vidor finished the film, which included the now exceptionally famous Over the Rainbow number. In the editing of the film, lots of sequences were trimmed down or removed entirely, including a large musical number called The Jitterbug that was exceptionally expensive to shoot and took 5 weeks to rehearse and film. It was excised when they needed to shorten the running time, and also, while filming, the Jitterbug dance craze had sprung up, and so they were worried that it would date the film. There were actually quite a lot of accidents on the set as well. The stand-in for Margaret Hamilton, who was the Wicked Witch of the West, while performing on a broomstick, she suddenly was torpedoed into the studio floor. And also a couple of actors who played the winged monkeys. While they were going on their merry way to attack Dorothy and all of her friends, a couple of the strings snapped, and unfortunately they hurtled to the ground. Even Toto didn't come out completely unscathed, as an unobservant witch guard stood on his paw. The Wizard of Oz has seeped into our cultural consciousness over the past 80 odd years. Even if they haven't seen the whole film, they know the songs, they know the characters, and I think that's all down to this version of the film. To review this film, I sat down and watched the new 4K remaster, and it is flawless. And for the first time I was struck by the technological advances of that film. This was the first time that Technicolor had been used to this scale. Black and white can disguise a multitude of sins, because we don't see the world in black and white, we see the world in colour. So when you try and replicate our world, it's much harder to do that in full living colour, especially with a new technology. Some of the most simplest special effects they had to reinvent just to make it work for this Technicolor process. And it even had them scratching their heads of, well, how do I make water look blue? So my takeaway from The Wizard of Oz, aside from the great performances and songs, is actually that even if those didn't exist, I think we'd still be looking and revering The Wizard of Oz just for those technological advances that really did rewrite the film rulebook. Thank you very much for watching my review of The Wizard of Oz, and tomorrow I have got a personal favourite of mine coming to you, and that is my review of Labyrinth from 1986. So get ready to dance Magic Dance. And then on Sunday rounding out these 3 films of fantasy, I have the 1943 musical Cabin in the Sky, which I've only just discovered this year and love to bits. So, it's 2 more films, one tomorrow, one on Sunday. For now, I'll say thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.